The first time he noticed the scent of her, Jace had been elbow-deep in the guts of a shuttle, coaxing a stubborn fuel line into behaving. Orinth Station's air recyclers constantly fought the dust that seeped from the ring's old seams, lending everything the taste of copper. But this scent cut through, warm resin and citrus rind like a forest breathing. He turned his head too fast and banged his knuckles on the panel. "Ow, sorry," he muttered to the shuttle as if it were a person. When he looked up, she was there on the edge of his bay, her head frills braided in threads of sky blue and black. Fyrari, tall and lithe, eyes faceted like polished amber. "Your human tools complain loudly," she said, voice rippling with humor. "Only when treated with disrespect." He shot back, and her mouth, more of a graceful curve of plates than lips, shifted in what he'd learned was a smile. Her name was Lishari of the Third Nest, though she told him to call her Lish. She traded in rare resins and plant saps from the forest moons. She had been coming by to barter a valve for a ride, a bolt for a story. Somewhere in there they had become friends. Jace wasn't sure what word applied between species. "Walk with me," she asked. "The Maker's Market opens. Many ships, many eyes." He wiped his hands on a rag and followed her out of the scrape bay into the market concourse. Banners hung in tiers, each dyed with vapor-reactive pigments that shimmered when the air stirred. Carts of simmering stews hissed next to stalls stacked with glittering mesh. People flowed around them, froth of tongues and species and bargains. Lish brought him to a stall where a woman with chromium tattoos sold braided cords. "For luck," Lish said, choosing a strand that matched the blue in her braids. "And warning." "Warning," Jace echoed. She angled her head so the light picked up the fine silver scales under her eyes. "Some of my kind look at humans and see novelty, not person. Their attention can be intense. You're good with engines, Jace. Many pirates need engines to run." Her hands fluttered, then stilled. "And there is Vek'tala, the one you mentioned. The one who thinks you stole a shipment. The one who thinks everything is hers until proven otherwise." Lish's tone went light, but her tensing frills belied it. She paid the vendor, then studied him. "May I do a thing considered forward? It will make others leave you be." "I suppose that depends on the thing." "Trust me," she said. He did against better judgment. Lish unstoppered a vial from her belt. The fragrance that leapt out was the same warm resin but richer, like sunlight caught in sap. She stepped close enough that the cooler touch of her shadow brushed his neck. With the back of her hand, she drew a small arc along his jaw, then pressed her cheek to his shoulder in a brief, rhythmic rub. Heat surged into Jace's face. The world seemed to fold inward around the point where her skin met his shirt, a gentle insistence more statement than caress. She drew back and nodded, satisfied. "There," she said. "My scent is on you. The message is clear to any Fyrari who understands. This human belongs only to me. Others will not attempt claims." Jace swallowed. "Belongs." The word hooked something inside him. He knew what it would sound like if a human said it, a trap. But Lish's tone held no ownership, only responsibility welded to care. "Our word means linked," she explained. "In danger, in trade, and in kindness. I put my standing behind you. And if I don't want your standing..." Lish's gaze didn't flinch. "Then I wash it away and stand with blades instead. But I prefer this." He found himself smiling. "It smells like oranges." "Oranges are a myth," she said gravely, and for the moment, the world tipped back into balance. The warning worked. In the hours that followed, as they circled the market, the glance of other Fyrari slid off him the way rain slid down oil. Only once did attention snag. A figure leaning in a shadowed arch, arms folded, her braids heavy with metal beads. Vek'tala. She watched them with half-lidded eyes and a tilt of amusement, then vanished into the crowd. By shift's end, Lish had traded her resins for a crate of medical foam and 3 sealed canisters of water purification enzymes. Jace got paid in the currency he loved best: salvage rights to the boneyard beyond Dock 12. They parted at the junction with a light touch of fingers, her plates clicking softly against his knuckles. He didn't make it back to the scrape bay. An arm hooked around his neck from behind, forearm like a metal bar. He was yanked into a maintenance corridor that stank of ozone. A second figure stepped into view, a human with a scar splitting one eyebrow. "You Jace?" the man asked pleasantly. Jace tried to answer and got only a choke. The man raised his hands. "Easy. We just need an engine rat. Captain's ship needs a nurse, feel me." "Let him go," another voice said. Vek'tala stepped into the light, her beads chiming. She smelled of cool stone. "You forgot to ask his keeper." "Keeper?" the human snorted. "He's not a pet." "Correct." Vek'tala's plates smoothed, revealing nothing. She drew a curved blade from her belt and rested it on her shoulder. "He is a link. Jace, little engineer, do you want to come with these soft bones who hurt from fear, or with me who hurts from boredom?" The arm around his neck tensed. Jace made a choice. He stamped his heel on the attacker's instep hard, then drove his head backward. Bone crunched. The hold loosened. He wrenched free, stumbled, and Vek'tala caught his elbow to steady him as if they were dance partners. Sirens pealed. Security would be slow here if they came at all. The attackers fled, boots hammering toward the noise. Vek'tala flicked a speck of blood from her blade. "You fight well for a human who belongs." "I don't belong to anyone," Jace said, breathless. Her facet eyes sparkled. "Tell that to Lishari. She marked you in the maker's market. Bold for a third nest trader. She was protecting me." "She was staking," Vek'tala corrected. "You are either a debt or a future. Either way, you are something. And I dislike being told no." She leaned in, scent cool like night air. "Tell Lishari I will come for proof of you. Trial. If she is wise, she will decline. If she is foolish, we will have entertainment." She left him with that, laughter trailing like beads. Jace found Lish on the observation deck where the station's cheap glass made a poor mirror for the stars. Her frills drooped in fatigue. He told her what happened. When he got to the part about Vek'tala's promise, Lish's hands tightened on the rail until her joints creaked. "She called for proof," she said. "What does that mean?" "A taking," Lish said, eyes shadowed. "Trial of claim, not of person, of promise. If she breaks my standing, then the warning I placed on you becomes nothing. Anyone may come. Pirates, slavers, that human with the scar. You go back to being a thread others pull. Then we don't let her break it." Lish looked at him as though he were rare metal. "Jace, this is Fyrari business. It is not asked of you. Your business became mine when you put your reputation on me," he said. "Let me put mine on you." He thought about what reputation meant for a human grease monkey on a rusting ring. Not much. But he had hands that didn't shake and a stubbornness that did not calculate odds. Sometimes that counted.